Hi guys, and welcome to Jam and Move with your host Stephen. And very quickly, I want to look into the fight. We started to run through the card now of February 22nd. As you know, the previous video we've spoken about Beterbiev Bivol and what my sort of very quick thoughts were from the previous fight and what I think may happen for the new one. So I'll put my head on the block there, seeing what's going to happen. And we're going to do this again with Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. And who do we think is going to take the victory there? Now, it's an interesting one. Honestly, I think this is the fight that needed to be made. I do think Parker's put himself in the front row for it, and I'm happy he's got his shot again. I think he didn't do himself justice against Joshua last time when obviously the title got lost and stuff, and then the White fight, and then he sort of built himself again. He had the issues when obviously Joyce defeated him, but then he's come back again with two hugely strong performances and a real change in his ethos, the way he attacks, the way he fights. He looks more intelligent, he looks bigger as well and much stronger, and he looks like he's able to really take any sort of hits, where I think with the Joyce one he did well, but in the end it just wore him down, and I was very worried that his punch strength, his ability to take it wouldn't be that good after the Joyce fight. But what he actually did was he went back, he rebuilt, he started again, and he's come back a much better fighter in my eyes, much leaner, much stronger. I think he's faster, and I think he's definitely now hitting his prime of what he can do. In terms of Dubois, no one can understate the absolute victory over Joshua. Do I think Joshua was his best? Absolutely not. But you cannot take it away from Dubois. Was he at his best because he was struggling with somewhat, or was it because Dubois was just phenomenal? And I think personally, very much it was more Dubois being absolutely on the nail with him. He did not let up from second one. He was on him. Jab, 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 throwing those overarms, throwing those hooks, and he hit him clean shot. Don't be wrong, Joshua assisted with just keeping his arm down. His left arm continues just literally down his body, just not covering his face, and he invited that. But yeah, Dubois made absolute hay. Well, like I say, made hay while the sun shines. He took that, he made that victory his, and he put to the world, showed to the world just what he can do as a world champion. Because again, he had the belt before, and obviously people were like, it was very much felt like a Joshua homecoming, but it wasn't. It was Dubois who was the champion, but because he won it in the Eliminator versus Hrgovic, I think people sort of lost that in the mire of things, and yeah, they were very much focused on Joshua becoming a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. But what they forgot was there's a guy, an absolute brute in Dubois, who was not going to let that happen, and he proved that, and he proved any of the doubters wrong. Myself a little bit, because again, I wasn't so sure. I had him to beat Hrgovic. Joel Miller, I had him to beat, but again, I fought against Usyk. Did he struggle? Yes. Did he wear out? Yes. Do I think he mentally left the ring at that point? Absolutely. But is that a slight against him? No, because it happened at that time. But what he did was, again, very much like Parker, he went away and he went to Joel Miller. And again, there was a middle rounds where it got really tough for him, and he pushed through and he dominated that fight by the end. Hrgovic, we seen those first few rounds getting hit continuously with that right by Hrgovic. He just didn't quite cover his face. He was doing very much what Joshua was doing to him with Hrgovic, but luckily Hrgovic couldn't quite get that punch over and get that knockout on him. And then he got through that storm. He weathered that storm and pushed through, and then became the Dubois who we've seen all through the Joshua fight and at the back end of the Hrgovic fight, and in parts in the Miller fight, which was an absolute brute, an athlete. Like I say, he did not stop, and he just put it on Hrgovic and beat him up in the end. So yeah, I think he is an absolute machine. Do I think he will continue to dominate the division? There was talk about that many years ago. I'm not so sure. I think there are other fighters now who are coming up as well. I think Atoma is a really big one to keep an eye on. I think he's going to get a shot very quickly, much quicker than people think. I think he'll come out of the woodwork extremely fast. He's already had a lot of professional fights, but he is looking exceptional. And again, we've got the other ones that are fighting for it. Bicoli, another great fighter. Obviously, he's in his mandatory at the moment, in his eliminator at the moment. So he's got his next fight, and then we've got Parker. So what do I think is going to happen with Parker and Dubois? It's going to be a phenomenal fight. Dubois is going to put it on him, but I think at this point, Parker's got a little bit, he's got the defence to deal with that. He's got the boxing intelligence to deal with that as well. The thing I noticed with Dubois is he still has his hands a little bit low. He still invites that pressure a little bit. He had it with Hrgovic for more I think 2-3 rounds it was continuous. With Joshua it was much less. If he eliminates that completely, he becomes a force. If he doesn't eliminate that completely and it becomes a bit more of an issue, and Parker can sort of see that chink in his armour and be able to exploit that, then I think we have a fight in our hands. Now, I don't think it lasts. I think one of them gets knocked out, but they've got, I don't think there's any way this fight goes to 12 rounds. It cannot. Like, obviously, I know Parker's proved he can go 12 rounds with someone big like Zhang, but Dubois is not Zhang. Dubois is much more athletic, much more, I'd say much more powerful. I think Dubois has got an unbelievable punch on him. So, yeah, what happens here? I have a sneaky feeling that Parker gets it. I really do. I don't think it's the end of Dubois. If it does happen, I think there might even be a rematch if that's the case. Obviously, Dubois being a champion. But at the moment, I'm putting my eggs in basket of Parker. I think he's changed a lot. I think he's a real good fighter now. And I think Dubois is a really good fighter, but I just think he gets the edge. And I think with the ability and the adversity, I think intelligence-wise, in terms of ring intelligence, I think he just outplays Dubois that bit more. I think he puts more damage on Dubois continuously. I think Dubois will have the bigger hits, and I think they both go down at some point. But I think personally, Parker takes it in the latter rounds, probably round 9, round 10 knockout. Can't see them both getting each other out early. I think it's a late off stoppage either way, but I'm going to go for Joseph Parker. So we'll have a look closer to the time. Obviously, this is extremely early. We're not even at Christmas yet. So post-Christmas, we'll have another video. We'll detail both of their journeys and have a real in-depth look into how they've achieved what they've achieved and what I think will happen and what you guys will think will happen when it comes to the fight, because let's face it, it's an unbelievably stacked card. That is one of many fights we're going to go through. We've just done the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight for the light heavyweight championship. We've done this fight next, and then, like I say, we'll be moving on to the other fights on the card as well and continuously going through that. So please get your thoughts in below. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Like I say, I think at the moment I'm going to go with Parker. That might be contentious, especially what happened against Joshua, but he has proven it himself. They are both phenomenal fighters. So have a look, guys. See what you think. Please leave your comments below, because I want to know what your thoughts are, because anything I get from you guys, I'll be able to incorporate in our videos. We can have those conversations and we can see what you think. So like I say, I'm happy to be wrong. I've been wrong many times. I've been right many times. So what do you guys think? Please tell me. Leave your likes, comments and subscriptions below. Take care. Bye.